go with the normal speed. Yeah, this is motherboard. Okay. So whether it is laptop or desktop or maybe it is a server. So we have a components like our CPU, RAM, hard disk, CD-ROM. All we are connecting to this motherboard only. On this motherboard already certain components are there, like your NIC card, enhanced integrated NIC card. That's related chips are inside. Okay, like that. Your audio chips, your BIOS chip, everything is on your motherboard. And there is a lot of slots to connect certain components like CPU slots for CPU connectivity, or CPU sockets or slots for CPU connectivity, RAM slots for inserting RAM, AGP, AGP slot for a graphic card purpose. You see that white bars, how many white bars are there? No? So there is PCI slots. If you want to add some expansion cards, like you want extra USB ports, and maybe you want some separate audio card is required. Okay. So like that, you can able to insert this expansion cards into this PCI slot. In certain systems, we also small size PCI slots also there. PCI slot, but small size. That's called PCIe, or we can also call as PC Express. It's a small sizes. The size wise, like length wise, it is smaller. Okay. Next. On the motherboard, already showed there is a chipsets like North Bridge, South Bridge, means IO controllers, audio chip, your LAN card related enhanced integrated chip on the motherboard. Power supply chipsets also available. Yeah, SMPS to motherboard connector, SMPS 24-pin power connector. Okay, hard disk connector, SATA or IDE connectors also on the monitor, on the motherboard. These motherboards also comes with a different form factors: AT, ATX, NLX, BLX, Baby ATX. Okay, so like that. So there is a different motherboard form factors are there. Nothing but a size. Okay, desktop motherboards are generally it's like a square shape, or sometimes it is little like triangle shape also there. But laptop motherboards are look differently. But the concept is same. Everything we are connecting to your motherboard only. Okay, like this. See, these are the laptop motherboard. It is also contains CPU slot, RAM slots, hard disk slots, like that. Next, this motherboard also having this is a 20-pin ATX power supply connector from SMPS to motherboard. These are the RAM slots. This is the graphic card. This is the back panel connection. So from old to new, so there are a lot of changes on the motherboard components connectivities and as well as back panel connections also. If you see there is round one PS by 2 mouse connector, PS by 2 mouse, PS by 2 keyboard connectors. In the olden days, we use this for connecting keyboard and mouse purpose. Later days, these are removed and we are using USB. Again, nowadays, uh, uh, means instead of two PS by 2, they're giving one PS by 2. Either you can connect PS by 2 keyboard or mouse to your system. Okay, so that is there. Next. You see, there is a 25 pin, a big pin connector is there. That's called parallel port. This parallel port also called as LPT, line printer terminal. So in our olden days, we use to connect printers. Nowadays, we are using USB for that one. Okay, so parallel port. and there is a COM port. You see this 9-pin connector, that is a COM port connector, communication port, also called as serial port. That's a parallel port. This is serial port. Serial port also called as COM port, also called as RS-232. Okay, RS-232, COM port, communication port, serial port, all are same. What is the purpose? In olden days, not like our Wi-Fi routers and we have a external modems. So from our telephone cable, we'll directly connected this dial-up external modems. From external modem to system, we are connecting. From connecting external modem to our system. And also we have emulator boards. Example, 8085, 8086, programming emulation boards are there. To connect from our system to load programming inside to these boards. Okay, we use this COM port. That's it is COM port, communication port. And of course, the router configuration, console cables also there. This console cable, one side it is RS-232 means serial port connection, other side RJ45 connector. So that will go to the router. This RS-232 is come to the our system. Of course, the serial port is also removed. Why? Because of we got USB, universal serial bus. Wide variety of devices we can connect through USB. Not only your pen drives, keyboard, mouse, printers. Now routers, emulator boards are also connecting. Like Arduino, Raspberry Pi. So you are connecting to your system through USB. You are connecting. In olden days, instead of USB, we use serial port. And there is a 15-pin connector. You can see that's a VGA port for connecting monitors, projectors, TVs, LCD. This again, RJ45 ports for LAN connector purpose. And there is a 3 connectors. You can see there's 3 different colors. One is for mic and speakers, and another one is line in. Line in. Like you can connect from your keyboard, means what is that? Playing keyboard, guitar. So you can connect to your system through that line in. Okay. Already here is PS/2, USB, VGA, and serial port. This is for LAN port, also called as RJ45 socket. This is LAN port. We are connecting our LAN with the cables. And this is, what is this? HDMI port. HDMI port is also used to connect your monitors, projectors, TVs. What is the difference between this VGA and HDMI? VGA will normal display data only it will shows. Only output, only the video output, right? That's only display purpose. But project HDMI will transfer both audio, video through this HDMI ports, both audio as well as videos. Both it will send audio, video purpose. And HD, high definition audio, video, we can able to transfer through this connector cable. And certain new motherboards also having certain LEDs on the motherboard to help you to understand is your system is running fine or maybe any issues there. As we discussed at the time of RAM failure is occur, RAM lose connection, dust formation of RAM. So you power on your system, so system showing a blank screen. On the monitor, it is blank screen. So we don't know what happened to your system. Look at this LED status. So if DRAM LED is blinking means RAM related issue. If CPU LED is blinking means CPU related issues. Like that we can able to understand on which component or which device we have an issue. Okay. So that is in the new process. This is about your some basic points about your motherboard, guys. I'm not going very details, but few details are important. That's I'm pointing. Remaining, I'm skipping. Why? Because we should know what is it, how it is look like, and how it is works. What is the use of those things? That's enough. Let's understand motherboard. Then we'll see about the SMPS also. So, what is SMPS? Switch mode power supply. SMPS, switch mode power supply. So, this is SMPS, okay, which converts, SMPS converts AC power supply to DC. To our main supply, it is AC. But our computers, laptops, mobile phones need a DC power supply. So electronic devices works with a DC power supply. Okay. So, but at a point, at a, or your main point, that is AC supply, 220 to 230 volts, AC, 50 Hz frequency supply we are using. Of course, in US, like a countries, they are using 110 volts AC, 60 Hz frequency they are using. So sine wave. So AC generally it is sine wave. Okay. So our SMPS in our system, it converts AC to DC and different DC voltages. Plus 12 volts, minus 12 volts, plus 5 volts, minus 5 volts, plus 3.3 volts, like that. Okay. So this is a SMPS to motherboard connector, ATX SMPS STX connector. Olden days, SMPS are 80 type. It contains 6 plus 6 pin connectors. Two connectors are there, 6 plus 6 pin connectors. 6 pin, 6 pin, which is connected to our motherboard. Later, 20 pin connectors are came, that is ATX. Now we are using 24 pin ATX connectors. Plus, additional, this CPU connectors also required. So when you are buying SMPS, check your motherboard compatibilities also. My mouse and this application, both are running crazy. Yeah. This CPU, separate connector from SMPS to your motherboard, separate connector for CPU connector. Earlier 4 pin is there, now 4 plus 4 pin, 8 pin connector. 24 pin motherboard, for motherboard, entire motherboard component purpose. This is separately for CPU purpose. And this is SATA cable for a SATA hard disk, SATA CD-ROM, SATA DVD writers. We use this power connector for that one. And this is old style, like a IDE hard disk, IDE CD-ROMs are there for their power supply connector. Floppy disk connector, and this is any PCI slot area inserted, and that cards, adapters require additional power supply, like a graphic cards need additional power supply sometimes. Okay, so then we are also having this one. So depends upon requirement, you have to check the SMPS, what connectors we are getting, also you have to check it. Okay. So what about our laptop charger? Laptop charger, in middle there is a charger is there, no? That one, it converts your AC supply to 19 volts, 19 volts. Generally, most of the chargers are 19 volts DC power supply converters. It convert into the DC, and that we are connected to our laptop. Even your mobile phone charges use this SMPS converters. It converts AC to DC to the 5 volts with high amplification. Then it will use to charge our mobile phones. Okay. So SMPS, switch mode power supply. So this is our SMPS. Each color of the wire is indicating, each color of wire indicating certain voltages. Like red color is plus 5 volts, yellow color is plus 12 volts. The orange color wire is for a 3.3 volts. The green wire is a power on wire it is. There is power OK wire is also there. There is a gray wire. The black wire is like a ground minus type, means ground type, common wire. Yeah. The last point in SMPS, guys, how to choose an SMPS? Already I just told, right? What is it about your motherboard compatibilities, right? Motherboard, ATX motherboards, 24-pin connector, 24-pin connector, SMPS. And on motherboard, we have 4-pin or a 8-pin CPU connector. Then you have to check from SMPS 8-pin connector we are getting on that. And you are using SATA hard disk, then SATA power supply providing SMPS is there on that, like that. Depends upon your system. So you have to choose your SMPS connectors. Very importantly, every component in the system will consume power supply, right? CPU consumes some supply. Think like CPU required 50 watts. RAM required 20 watts. Hard disk required some 100 watts. So you have a graphic card, it is required 200 watts. So every component requires certain wattage power supply to run the system. So you have to calculate the what is the on average or overall total requirements. So for example, total requirement for your system right now is 300 watts. Your requirement is 300 watts SMPS. So you go and put a 300 watts SMPS. In future, you are attached to some external hard disk. Maybe you are attached some other expansion card or maybe a graphic card you are inserted. It need more power supply. You're extended your RAM, so it is required more power supply. So your SMPS unable to provide that much. Already 300 watts SMPS providing 300 watts. That's enough. 300 to 300, so it's good, equal. But your system required some additional power supply. Your SMP is unable to provide that one because it's providing 300, but you need more than that one. It's unable to provide more than that required watt, more than its wattage level. So what happens? System restart itself again and again. So system restarting itself again and again. Two reasons we understand. One is CPU is getting overheated. Another one is SMPS is unable to provide more than its power rating. So system required more than SMPS power rating. So what is the solution? One is check total power consumption. Try to increase your SMPS, like buy a new SMPS with a higher capacities. So initially, better take the SMPS little higher than your requirement. You want 300 watts right now, but maybe in future it is required more. Then better to buy 350 watts, 400 watts, 450 watts, 500 watts. But does not mean that you need a 300 watts or 400 watts. You should buy 1 kilowatt or of SMPS, 2 kilowatts of SMPS, not required. Take little higher than your required. Okay, just a minute. Hello, Amma. Okay, so this is about your SMPS. Take a small break, guys, and we'll go to the secondary storage devices. In that one again, as hard disk, as SSDs also we'll discuss. Okay, take a small break. It's